Good morning. It's Wednesday, February 19th, and I want to shout out happy birthday to my oldest son, Eric. Now, I'm reading from Paul to the Ephesians, and he is mainly talking to people who are not the Jewish people, the Israelites. He's talking to the Gentiles, which is anyone who is not an Israelite, because there had to be a special place in the Bible so that the Gentiles would know they also are part of this whole family of God. And first he says that we were not saved by ourselves, but by a gift from God. He said, by grace we've been saved, not of ourselves. It's a gift of God, not of works, so that no one can boast that they saved themselves or they did something special to get into God's kingdom. But if you think of it, it is a gift to us that we can be saved, or we can believe, we can be Christians as followers of Christ. And it says right here in Ephesians chapter 2, verse 10, "For we are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand that we should walk in them." So we are God's workmanship. Whatever gifts or talents we have, those, they're not from someone who taught us something, or all of this comes together. Our whole life comes together so that we can serve God. And whatever experiences we've had, they all come together for that reason. And it says we were created in Christ Jesus for good works. We're meant to do good things. And God prepared those good things beforehand that we should walk in them. We didn't know what we're supposed to do, but they're already ahead of us, the things we're supposed to do. God has prepared them beforehand. He already knows where we're going and what we're going to do. And that's a pretty neat verse. I like this verse because it says we've already been prepared. We've already been given the good works, and all we got to do is walk straight forward and do whatever we find as we're walking along. And then it tells that Christ was a mystery, and because from the beginning of time, they didn't know about Jesus Christ, not until he showed up as that little baby and then began his ministry. And he, and so nobody knew this, but he said that he came to tell people that the Gentiles are also, here it says right here in chapter 3, verse 5, which in other ages was not made known to the sons of men, as it has now been revealed by the Spirit to his holy apostles and prophets, that the Gentiles should be fellow heirs of the same body and partakers of his promise in Christ through the gospel. So he is saying he has come to announce that the Gentiles also will be fellow heirs with the Israelites, and with all people will come together. I think that was probably one of the first times people decided, even though we're different, it's okay to come together. And let's not fight, because we're supposed to be together, because the Gentiles were not looked at as people of God. The Israelites were. And so it had to take a special book in the Bible to bring and introduce the Gentiles and say, yes, they are also fellow heirs in Christ. It's a really wonderful thing that they took time out and to make sure we understood that the Gentiles are there. And then he kind of tells a little bit about how we should act and all that. And then in the end, he says about the armor of God, because it's his warning. He says, make sure that you can stand against the wiles of the devil. He says, we don't wrestle against flesh and blood, but principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this age, against spiritual hosts of wickedness in heavenly places. And that is as true today, or more true, as it was back then. That if you are wrestling and fighting with certain people or certain situations, it's not because of a person, even though it seems like there's one person that is causing all the trouble. It's because the devil is using his powers, and though we can't see him, we know he's there, just like we can't see God, but we know he's there. So don't ever take that for granted, that you can handle everything, because there are things you can't see. And so anyway, Ephesians is a short chapter, but it is a very powerful book in the Bible. And I think if you read it carefully and slowly, certain parts will stand out to you. And just remember, we are God's workmanship, and he already prepared things for us to do. So get out there and do them. Have a great day, and God bless you.